case you missed it, here are 3 things you need to know from this week's AEW Dynamite. First, Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay officially threw down the challenge for the Young Bucks for All In Texas and added the stipulation that the Young Bucks put up their titles of EVP on the line. Now, they didn't elaborate if that meant that Swerve and Ospreay would be the EVPs if they win, or just the Young Bucks would stop if they lose, but it's interesting. I think the dynamic of the Bucks torturing those guys by throwing their power around is something that could go longer than just the next 3 weeks up until All In, but it does also kind of feel like the Bucks need a refresh. So this is a good way to add even more stakes to what should be one of the best matches of the card. Second, after his surprise return last week on Collision, Kota Ibushi had his first match in over a year on AEW, wrestling Trent Beretta in a really fun match. He looked great. I don't think he'll ever quite move like prime Ibushi was, like the pre-AEW era, but as far as I know, this was as good as he's looked at all at any point in AEW. And I think when he finally does re-team with Kenny Omega, it's going to be a huge moment. And so kudos to them for making him feel like a big deal right away. And this match was great. It was way more hard-hitting and equal than I would have expected. And third, earlier in the week, we got confirmation that there would be men's and women's casino gauntlet matches at All In for the number 1 contendership. And so tonight, there were 2 matches to determine the number 1 entrants. For the men, it's going to be Mark Briscoe, and for the women, it's going to be Chris Statlander. Now, I don't know if Mark Briscoe has a very good chance of winning. I don't think anyone would be mad to see him win and get that title shot at any point, but that feels like a setup for MJF, who's been talking about taking the easy way for months, basically. The women's one, though, is way more interesting. It feels like it's wide open. No matter what happens with the Toni Storm Mercedes Moné match, it really feels like there's tons of entrants who could win. So Chris Statlander getting that nod is a huge look, and it's never a bad time to give Mark Briscoe a big win. Let me know what your favorite part of the show this week was.